Good. Appreciate you guys being here again. We're super excited to get this season started. Finally get football back here at the Rock this Saturday. Have a quality opponent in Charlotte coming up here. A program we have a lot of respect for, a head coach I have a lot of respect for, and what he's been able to do to this program over this 1 year speaks volumes for what kind of coach he is, what kind of man he is. So, again, we're excited to get started, and we'll go from there.
Okay, first question's from David Ware. Go ahead, David.
Morning, Shawn. Don't know if you had the luxury of watching any of the games that went on this weekend, but as I watched one after the other, what jumped off the page at me, and I don't think this would be a surprise to anybody, is the finer details. Special teams play, tackling was a little sloppy. There are some things that are just in this intermittent workout regimen you guys have had that I think are tough to expect anybody to really have nailed down. When it comes to kind of those finer aspects of the game and where you feel like your team is and where your focus has been able to be relative to those things, how good do you feel about some of those nuances of the game that wind up being important in wins and losses?
Well, I did get a chance to watch some football this past Saturday, and there was some sloppy play. And I think that you're going to experience some of that around college football early on. It's something that we've had a detailed plan for. We try to scrimmage probably more than some programs have, try to tackle more, and put a big emphasis on special teams. To win a football game, you have to win 2 of the 3 phases now: special teams, offense, or defense. You have to win 2 of those, and we spent a lot of time on special teams from back even when we weren't here. We were doing Zoom meetings on special teams. So again, I saw sloppy play. I hope we don't have it, or else we'll hear about it.
In terms of the health of the team, which I realize in the current times is a broad question, can you kind of give us an update on where things stand? Anybody who might be out either for this game or longer, what the current COVID status is, et cetera.
Right now, we're full speed ahead. We just got off a meeting with Zach Parker, our trainer, and everyone's a go as of now. But as you know, this is a fluid situation. It changes minute by minute. So it could be Thursday. It could change again, and that's going to be the every day. You're always trying to figure out what's going on, and it's day by day. And when I tell you today, it could change by Wednesday. It could change again by Saturday. So we don't know. We're going to line up, kick it off Saturday at noon, and whoever's there is going to play. And there's no excuse in our program. Doesn't matter who's out. If the head coach is out, we have a plan for someone to step in, and we're going to play this game Saturday at noon.
Okay, next question from Ethan Joyce, Winston-Salem Journal.
Hey, Shawn. I guess first off, I got a few for you, but you're a week out at this point. You kind of know. I'm sure at least you have an idea of what you got. But what do you need to see maybe this week and maybe even in that game day to kind of get your confidence forward on maybe the few question marks you have?
It's really hard to tell, Ethan, to be honest with you, because throughout camp it changed so much. And the good thing about our program, we have an identity, and we know what we're going to do on offense. We know what we're going to do on defense, and having those 11 practices early in the spring helped a bunch. And getting to camp, and we picked up right where we left off in March. So again, I'm not sure what we have to find out this week. We have to be very detailed and get all the small things cleaned up. But we're ready to go, and we can kick off today if we needed to.
I wanted to ask you about Charlotte's quarterback, Chris Reynolds. He's a local guy here in the Winston area, but just kind of your thoughts on the way he plays and maybe the way Charlotte's offensive line kind of went about keeping him protected last year and how he kind of, adapted off those guys.
Well, I had a chance to watch him in high school, and we recruited him here, but I think he's a winner, and he's a competitor. He plays with grit, and there's no play that's done right now. Some quarterbacks can't scramble and keep a play going, but he's a guy that does a great job extending plays, and he's such a competitor. He's a winner, and that's the kind of quarterback you want in your program. So can't say enough good things about him.
And last one for me right here. You got your first bowl game, or you got your first game kind of out of the way in the bowl game. And I wonder if you kind of see that as an advantage to have that first one under your belt, or if there's still maybe some kind of nervous excitement or anxious excitement about this first one here at Kid Brewer?
I don't think so. And the bowl game helped quite a bit, to be honest with you. But again, it's business as usual, and we have a job to do here at App, and there was always a detailed plan, and we have great coaches here, and we stuck to the plan. We never deviated from our plan when things went awry, and again, we're just excited to get going.
All right, next question from David Scott, Charlotte Observer.
Hey, Shawn, again. You might have answered this a little bit from Ethan's question, but what does Charlotte do offensively and then defensively also? What do they do best, and what concerns you the most?
Well, again, I think they have a very strong run game, and they've done a great job of creating offensive linemen. And that's one thing as an assistant coach that I spent a lot of time is we recruit a lot of the same guys. And anytime you have a great quarterback like Chris Reynolds, he's always going to give you an issue, give you problems, because he can extend plays, even if you're covering downfield, and he'll roll out, make you miss a few tackles, and extend the play and throw one deep, make a play. But I think they do a really good job on offense. They get a bunch of unbalanced sets and put your defense in a bind, and that can give you issues. So we have to be very smart as we play to recognize the unbalanced formations. We have to get a line to it and communicate.
There's such a great atmosphere at App State at the Rock on game day, and I'm sure that the team and the players have always fed off that. And I know where I'm going with this. Without the fans there, how do you replace that? Do you feel like you need to, or how are you going to do that?
Well, again, that's always been a great advantage for us here in Boone is our crowd and our fans. They're very passionate about App State football. Unfortunately, that's out of our hands right now. And the last two scrimmages we've had, it's been beautiful here in Boone. The sun's been shining, and there's no fans in the stands. So we called them up last week after our last scrimmage and said, hey, this is game day. This is what it's going to be like. And this is don't be surprised when you come out here. So it's going to be new to all of us. But again, we don't make any excuses. We're going to put the ball down, line up, and the best team's going to win.
Will Healy they've got 7 road games this year, and he's talked about that a little bit, and also because of the virus, how they're going to have to change the travel protocols. He has said that Friday night they are going to spend the night at your house, all 85 players. How's that going to work out, and where are you going to put them all?
Well, I have a big band coming in that night, so they won't get any sleep. But no, it's different times. And again, we know where they're staying. We might have to pull a fire alarm one time just for Will.
Thanks, Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question is from Silas Albright with the Appalachian.
Yeah. I guess obviously I think there were 4 out of 5 of the offensive line named preseason all Sun Belt teams. Can you just I know as a former offensive line coach, you've got a great history of offensive line here. Just how confident are you in having that experienced, highly touted offensive line to work with this year?
If you show me a good football team, I'll show you a good offensive line. And that's where it all starts. And very proud of those guys, the way they handle themselves, the way they conduct themselves in practice. And they got a great coach in Nick Cardwell, who knows what we have to do to be successful. And I've been in his shoes before. I worked for a head coach who was an offensive line coach, and that's tough sometimes. But Nick's done a great job with those guys, understand the schemes, what we have to get done, and he really motivates those guys to be better than they were last year. And that's his job as a coach, to take those guys to the next level. But I'm never too far away from them. I always have a little sneak peek down at the offensive line and see how they're doing. But again, I can't say enough good things about our guys, just the way they do things.
Okay, next we'll go to David Rogers, Blowing Rock News.
Thanks, Coach, for joining us today. It's hard to keep up with a lot of this stuff that was going on with this pandemic thing, but how many, as we're approaching the final week of preseason here, how many of the App State players have opted out? And perhaps and if you can share who?
Yeah, again, Corey Sutton's, he's opted out. David Baldwin Griffin, he opted out, and Anderson opted out, our running back from South Carolina. And again, they thought that was the best thing for them personally, and we'll support those guys and hope to see them back next year.
With Sutton's opting out, well, obviously I know you got a next man up mentality, but you've got a lot of depth at wide receiver. Can you speak to what adjustments you might be making there?
We prepared for this the whole time. Corey's coming back from the ACL injury. We knew he wouldn't be ready game one. So, but you have Malik Williams, Thomas Hennigan, Jalen Virgil is really taking his game to the next level. I think he's a deep threat. He's really improved his hands. But we also have some young guys. We have Christian Horn, a true freshman. He really caught our eyes this summer, and the way he handles himself, the way he's come to the offense. Christian Wells has looked very good the last few days. Deshaun Davis has done very well. Elijah Johnson, the kid from Charlotte, his dad played here when I played here. He's really given us some more depth at that position. So I like where we are right now, and we're going to play who shows up, and we're going to play guys early. So you might see some guys in there that you haven't seen play before, but we have to get some experience, and we have to do it this Saturday.
Well, one more. Much has been talked about with your depth at running back, even with Darrington Evans, moving on. Specifically focused on Cameron Peoples, who looked very promising last year before his injury. How has he come back, and what are you looking for from him?
Well, I think we have a stable of running backs. You look at Daytrick Harrington, Cam Peoples, Marcus Williams Jr. Those guys, we have not named a starter yet. In my eyes, they're all three starters. But Cam has came back. He's 100%. He's not wearing a brace. And again, he's like that working horse. When it's 3rd and 2, he can get it. But again, he can take it the distance. And we've seen that in the bowl game from 2018 when he had the long run against Middle. He's a special player. He's a different kind of athlete. The 6'2", 200-pound kid that can run 4.5. So we're glad he's on our football team.
Thank you much.
Okay, we'll go with one question from Kenneth Reese, and then we'll go with Ethan Joyce after that to finish us off.
Hey, Coach. Not to jump the gun on the schedule, but were you able to watch any of the Marshall game this week or on this weekend, and any takeaways from that looking forward?
I didn't. We worked all day Saturday till late in the evening, and try and get this game plan for Charlotte, because that's the only one that matters right now.
I understand. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Ethan.
Yeah, Shawn, I was just kind of thinking to 2 years ago, and Zach Thomas was getting ready to make his first start, and there were a lot of people that were confident in his ability, but I can even remember him talking about just needing that game experience. He obviously has that now, but just what has it been like for you to watch him develop, even as you were working with the O-line and getting to see him in different ways, probably from that sense, but also just seeing the quarterback he is now?
I think it's very special when you have a guy that comes in here that has all the talent in the world with the nickname of Bam Bam, because at the time, if a 5-yard out route and a 60-yard bomb was the same velocity. And a lot of people don't know this, but the week before Penn State, he did not have a great week of practice. And we had a plan if things didn't work out, what direction we'd go in. But once he got hit a few times and settled into his role as the leader of our offense, I mean, he's taken his game year in and year out to another level. And I can't say enough good things about him.